This episode of Tekzilla Bytes is brought to you by Toyota's hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. Leave your mark. Toyota, let's go places. Hey everyone, I'm Shannon Morse, and we just listened to the Toyota press conference, and it was awesome. We learned so much about their brand new car, which runs on hydrogen fuel cell. So interesting to me. So I'm over here with Jonathan Strickland from HowStuffWorks. Hey Jonathan, how are you?
Hey Shannon, I'm great. It's good to see you again.
So I thought you were the perfect guy to interview about, well, how this stuff works.
I did write how fuel cells work, so I have a bit of a background on this.
Okay, well tell me about fuel cells.
All right, well first of all, these particular fuel cells, like you said, run on hydrogen, which
What is hydrogen, sir?
That's the most plentiful element in the universe, Shannon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in fact it is. It's incredible stuff. So Here's the thing about fuel cells. You basically start with hydrogen on one side of the fuel cell, oxygen's on the other side of the fuel cell. In between is a membrane that has a catalyst. When the hydrogen atoms come near the catalyst, it causes the hydrogen to ionize. It sheds an electron, boots that electron. Now the electron cannot go through that membrane, but the hydrogen proton can. So the hydrogen proton goes through. Now electrons are all negative Nancy's. They don't want to be around each other. They want to get out. They want to join that positive party on the other side.
Does this cause issues?
It does. So what they have to do is they have to open up a pathway so the electrons can go through the pathway and rejoin the hydrogen and oxygen ions on the other side.
How weird.
Yeah. Well, we don't just make them go on a pathway.
Of course.
We make them do work. Right?
Oh.
So when they do work, in this case with a fuel cell vehicle making a motor run, then they can continue on the pathway, rejoin the hydrogen and oxygen ions, and then you get H2O, also known as water.
Water.
Yeah.
So when this comes into cars, we're sticking these in cars now. It's 2015. This is amazing. It feels almost futuristic to me.
Almost.
So cars started way back in the day.
Yeah. It's a Thursday, as I recall.
Thursday, yes. Where are we going from here? Where do you think that the future of cars is going to be?
This is really a big question, and it's a phenomenal moment, because you got to think that gasoline-powered cars have been in existence for a century.
Yeah.
We have 100 years to build up the infrastructure, the vehicles. This is a big thing to change, but going forward with hydrogen power, going forward with electrical power, these are the efforts we need to make in order to transform to a low carbon emitting or zero carbon emitting future.
I think it's really important nowadays because we have so much pollution on the entirety of our planet. It's bad, and we need to start looking at new implementations like this new car.
Exactly. So this is one step, right? Getting the cars so that they are low carbon or zero carbon emitting vehicles. Now you have other things that you have to think about, other challenges. For example, where do you get the hydrogen? Now, I said it was the most plentiful element in the universe, which is true, but it also bonds with stuff.
Right.
Which means you have to put energy in order to get the hydrogen. So the question then becomes, how do you get the hydrogen so that you can use it as fuel? And if you're not doing it in a responsible way, like using renewable energy,
it can be very costly and it might not end up being green.
Exactly. You've just shifted the problem to a different sector. So the interesting thing here is that Toyota has decided to share its research and development with companies around the world.
They're releasing their patents with everybody, pretty much royalty-free, which means that anybody can help build this infrastructure for themselves and for Toyota.
Yeah, it's a great business decision because this is what is going to allow that hydrogen-based economy to become a reality. And it's also great news for anyone who's concerned about the environment because now lots of parties can get involved. So it's not, before you might say, oh, it's one company. How can one company really change the entire world? That's too big.
Right.
Well, now it's not too big anymore. Now everyone can do it.
Are you excited?
I'm really excited.
So how long do you think this is actually going to take for us to see this everywhere?
Honestly, I think that if you're looking at a real hydrogen-based economy, we're at least 10 years out. But the important thing is, before it was one of those things where it was like a proof of concept.
Yeah.
We've been talking about a hydrogen-based economy, no joke, since 1970.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is the day. We might be living, seeing, witnessing the day the hydrogen-based economy actually gets born.
Are we seeing the future right now?
It could be that we're living the future right now.
We are living the future.
Yeah. I got a jetpack right over there.
Do you?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. You want to give me a ride on that
Sure,
thing later?
let's go. All right.
Okay, sweet. Thank you so much, Jonathan,
Thank
for
you.
speaking with me. Again, where can people find your work?
Well, they can find me at HowStuffWorks.com. They can find me at FWThinking.com for Forward Thinking, my show about the future. And of course, you can always follow me on Twitter, John Strickland.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on and speaking with me. This episode of Tekzilla Bytes is brought to you by Toyota's hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. Leave your mark. Toyota, let's go places.